The following audio is given to me with the promise that I would keep the interviewer's identity anonymous. Even I do not know who they are. I have re-recorded their questions to hide their voice. This interview took place in the fall of 2019 and is the conclusion to a series of 3 videos I've published on this interview. In this, we will see the interviewer become very direct with Jacob in an attempt to turn his words against him and make him willingly separate himself from Chris. I hope my previous 2 episodes were evidence enough as to why Jacob and Chris should be separated. Here is the conclusion and Jacob's response to the interviewer's reasoning. Viewer discretion is advised. Have you ever thought about telling Christine that the merge just can't happen?
She's so deep into it, I don't have the heart to do it. I really don't. She's so deep into this merger happening, I don't have the heart to tell her that it's going to take a million lives just for cross over one entity.
You told me earlier that you don't keep anything from Chris, but you're not telling her about this. Is there anything else that you're keeping from her?
The energy exchange is what I'm keeping from, because you gotta kill things and claim the energy in order to make it happen. And if Christine wants the dimensional merger in its full glory, she has to kill hundreds of billions of humans to get every OC to have its full power. The Rokan Empire enslaved humanity in 1756. And they bred humans on their own worlds, and across them...
Well, before all that, there's still the issue of Crystal being born to fulfill the ancient prophecy.
Yeah, and Jacoba is probably become aware of that one. Not sure I want to tell him. He's going to have 2 children. Because there is a Rokat species has a birth order. And the Rokat species, I think 100% the first birth is male. 50% the second birth is male or female. Third birth is 25% chance of a male, 75% female. That's how the Rokat genders are decided genetically. And I haven't had a chance to tell Christine that yet. That the birth order, Crystal would have to be a second-born, no matter what. There has to be a firstborn and then a second-born. There's a 100% chance firstborn is male. I'm like 3,000 pages into my lore and legends with all this stuff. I don't have the time to explain it all to her.
So you've been trying to help Christine with the merge, and that's kind of the basis of your friendship, right?
I wanted her to become my friend, just to become friends, because we got other things in common.
Would you say that you aren't telling her the merge won't happen because it would wreck your friendship?
Well, right now, I'm afraid it would wreck our friendship.
So you do understand that you're only friends because you're sharing information about the dimensional merge?
I think the dimensional merge is probably the most part of our friendship.
So you do understand that this is manipulation, that you're leading Christine on?
Well, as far as I understand, if there is any manipulation, it's probably her trying to use me for knowledge.
No. Do you understand that a friendship based on the dimensional merge, which you are keeping information about to yourself, that is manipulation?
Well, I'm trying to protect her from the darker side, and I'm not willing to give this Yorhonic spell that would guarantee the merger. It's going to summon a bunch of demons that I've already dealt with. It's like she can have her merger, but whatever, but in order to complete, you got to do some really fucked up things. Like sacrifice the entire city, like I did when I created my celestial mojo.
You don't understand. You're lying, and by lying, it is manipulation. Reasons aside, you admit that you're doing that.
Oh, I've told her a little bit that I'm dark magic.
No, it's not about the dark magic. You're actively holding something very important from her.
So you expect me to tell her that I've sacrificed Nephilim giants?
No. We expect you to tell her that you can't help with the dimensional merge.
Well, the thing is, I can't help with the dimensional merge.
You just said a minute ago that you can't because it would take billions of humans, and that wouldn't fit with the timeline Christine wants.
So, would you all be willing to tell her that?
Yes, that's what friends do.
Well, she's my big sister as far as everything I know is telling me. She's...
Jacob, If I go and tell Christine all these things about you not being able to help with the merge, and she no longer wants anything to do with you, are you going to go away, or are you going to come up with something else that you think you can help her with?
Well, I'm going to come up with everything I have to help as far as I know. Whether it conflicts with you or not, I'm always going to come up with everything I have.
No, it has nothing to do with me. It's about what Christine wants.
Well, if Christine wants nothing to do with me, then fine, I'll move on. I'm going to do everything I can to help her. That's my goal in life.
Sometimes the best thing you can do for someone is to leave them alone. You wouldn't want Chris to do the bad magic because if you right, she'd never be able to forgive herself.
I know she's all goodness.
So you need to look deep inside yourself and ask yourself if this friendship is built on mutual goals or if you're being selfish and would do anything in your power to keep the friendship.
As far as I know, I'm doing this for her. We're supposed to be past life sisters and all that. I'm like the older brother, she's the younger sister.
But you just admitted that you were withholding information about the merge because you thought it would end your friendship. You gotta tell her, man.
Well, I guess I will tell her when she's next available. Tell her everything I know about this stuff. It's like, I'm trying to explore it myself about this because I've only been doing this for 20 years. I'm in my 20th or 19th year.
You also have to be aware that Christine has a lot of friends, guard dogs, and white knights that watch what kind of friends she has, and it might be dangerous for you if you're not true and honest.
Yeah, I'm aware of that, but it's like I don't know what to think anymore. I'm trying to be friends as a human being, not as magical.
Then drop the magic stuff and see if she still wants to be friends, and if she doesn't, maybe it wasn't meant to be.
So I guess I'll tell the truth when I get a chance.
Just say you can't make the merge happen, but still want to be friends.
I don't know what my future brings into this, but I'm pretty sure I got some part in all this stuff. I don't really care what I have to face. She's like a big sister to me, and I'm not willing to give up for anything. I'm going to protect her with whatever I've got. I've already sacrificed my reputation with the whole world, and now at this point, I'm going to protect her with everything I've got. She's big sister, I'm little brother, and I'm going to be the guardian. I don't know if that's going to be true, but I'm going to stand by it. I'm going to stand with her through everything she goes through.
But if she doesn't want you to, you have to respect her choice.
I'm going through a lot right now. She's not my big sister. It might be like losing a family member.
So you're going to tell Christine the truth?
Yeah, I'll tell the truth. It's most likely not possible with what we know now.
Yeah, well, it's completely not possible. You have to tell her the truth.
Okay, I'll tell the truth. It's not possible. And let me you do some really horrible things to make it happen. That's what I've been told by my alien pals. I do some really horrible things to make it happen.
There was a point in the discussion where the interviewer tried to convince Jacob to tell Chris the merge couldn't happen. This would have led to Chris cutting ties with Jacob for being a non-believer, which was the interviewer's goal. They kept trying to convince Jacob that Chris would want honesty from him, but Jacob kept deflecting and saying he didn't want to break Chris's heart. I'm just perplexed that Jacob, whose main goal is to be with Chris, would rather hold on to his delusion that the dimensional merge can't happen because of the magic system that he invented, rather than change what he believes in order to stay Chris's friend. It's like he'd rather not have to retcon his lore than actually be friends with Chris, and he cries about it. This is the end of the interview. A few weeks after this was conducted, Chris stated on Twitter that he would not date Jacob, and Jacob got mad and told Chris he could not use Jacoba in Sonichu because he was copyrighted, unless they got married. Chris ignored this. Chris believes that because all fictional characters exist in another dimension and thus are real, they can't be copyrighted. This is incorrect, but it's not like Jacob had Jacoba copyrighted anyway. The two have not been on good terms since, and Jacob has moved on to obsess over Jessica Yenev, a notorious transgender figure akin to Chris. Jacob continues to harass people who are involved with Chris, including myself, but as far as I am aware, the two are no longer in direct contact. This series will continue as we dive into Jacob's self-published books and subreddit.